Hey guys, and welcome to Resilient Rati. My name is Ratik Datta, and I've recently graduated from Purdue University, having done a master's in marketing. It's been a couple of months since I graduated, and I've been in the process of looking for a job here in the US. It's been an exciting time. It's also been nerve wracking as well because job hunting is a little difficult given how tough the job market here in the US is. I've made a video talking about the same. You can go check it out. I think you'll find the link for the same on the top right hand side of your screen. In case you're, that was just a brief introduction about myself. In case you're new here, also if you're new here, please make sure that you leave me one of these. That's not just limited to you being new here. Please leave me one of these, irrespective whether you are a new viewer or someone who's one of my older viewers who I'm so grateful for, in all honesty, because you guys make the channel what it is, and I'm hoping that the new viewers also eventually become like you guys. For the new viewers, I hope that you guys also subscribe to my channel and switch on bell notifications, because switching on bell notifications ensures that you don't miss out on any future content. Today, the topic that I'm going to be talking about is pretty close to my heart. In my last video, I spoke about the implications of climate change on a country like Pakistan, which contributes lesser than 1% of total greenhouse gases, and whether developed countries of the world owe countries like Pakistan reparations. The video that I'm putting out today is in line with the environment and helping protect the environment. Electric vehicles have been revolutionary when it comes to the environment, simply because EVs or electric vehicles are actually much more environmental friendly than petrol or gas vehicles are. How you're generating that electricity also makes a huge difference in terms of how sustainable your electric vehicle is. For example, if you are using renewable sources of energy such as solar energy to generate your electricity, that makes the EV even more environmentally friendly. That's truly been a huge attraction for people who are very conscious about the environment, and that's how EV brands have positioned themselves. So, for those of you who are new to marketing, positioning is basically establishing the brand image of a product in the minds of the consumers and ensuring that that image stays consistent throughout the stage of the customer journey. So for example, Apple positions itself as a premium smartphone seller, which is why its pricing, its design, and its promotion is all in line with that of a premium product. Similarly, it's a similar case with Mercedes Benz as well. So given that EVs were initially positioned, so the initial positioning plan for EVs was to target customers who are environmentally conscious, who want to do their bit to save the environment. When it comes to marketing, marketing is very simply divided. Marketing strategies are divided into the STP strategy, which basically is segmentation, targeting, and position. Electric vehicles created a homogeneous group of consumers who had similar beliefs and ideas, such as those who are environmentally friendly, and decided to target those and effective and consequently decided their positioning strategies on the basis of the consumers that they're targeting. Now that governments around the world, because of the climate crisis that we're all going through, have decided that it's about time that we effect change, and there are laws that are being put out there which mandate the shift from petroleum cars to electric vehicles. It is said that 50% of all new vehicles produced in the United States by the year 2030 are going to be electric vehicles, and it is also said that the UK intends to completely ban the sale of petroleum and gas vehicles by then. Given that this is the case, and it's the law that is mandating consumers to make the switch, EV brands have had to come up with a new way to position themselves, to strategize how they want to sell their product, because initially they could position themselves as the savior of the planet, and a lot of people would take pride in this fact. But given that now all cars are eventually going to be electric vehicles, they have to focus on the features of the car itself. And it's not just the features of the car, it's also the possible drawbacks of having an EV, which comes into consideration, such as range considerations, infrastructural development which is required to keep the cars charged, and so on and so forth. So positioning themselves as the savior of the planet is not going to cut it for electric vehicles, because all electric vehicles have that benefit. What they now need to focus on is on the product features itself. Given that there are certain concerns about the electric vehicles, such as the range issues, such as infrastructural developments, brands would have to position themselves so as to be able to quell all of these fears. And that is going to be the future of electric vehicle. In according to an article that I read, the it was an excellent article, a very thought provoking article, and I'm linking the article in the description below. So what I'm talking about in this video is just a brief summary of the article. I would highly urge you guys to go and read the article. It's very thought provoking, and I thought that it provides a lot of food for thought in terms of how we want to market our electric vehicles. And given that electric vehicles are the future, it's um it's essential for marketers and for brands to know how they can differentiate themselves from their competitors, because initially EVs as a category could be differentiated from petroleum products by saying that they are saving the planet, they stand for a greener earth. But now that all cars are going to be EVs, it's just it's the features which are actually going to which according to the article is going to help distinguish one brand from all its other competitors. So in terms of features, one of the main concerns that people usually have about electric cars are the range issue. So there has been research that has been done according to the article that I read, which says that a car on an average runs less than 10 miles a day, and electric vehicles have the capacity of running from 100 to 300 miles. Given that that is the case, there really shouldn't be any concern in terms of the range. But what companies need to do, what brands need to do, is ensure that they're able to translate what 100 to 300 miles means in terms of practical everyday life. So if you're traveling from, say, New Jersey to New York, it would make sense for car companies to talk about exactly how many miles that would be, and about how the range of their electric vehicle is more than enough to compensate for the long distance that New York that for the comparatively long distance that New York and New Jersey have. It's very important to put them in practical terms, because not everyone understands what 100 miles and 300 miles is. In all honesty, it's something that I still get confused with as well. I prefer knowing I prefer knowing the distance in terms of practically knowing how long it is from one place to another, or in terms of time. That is a more accurate depiction of distance for me on a personal level, and I know a lot of people are like that. So giving them that practical exposure will also help sell EVs better, according to the article. The article very elaborately describes how positioning can be done on the basis of features of a car. And while these features are extremely important to help distinguish one brand from the other, marketing is not just about rational decisions. I know these features are very prominent in terms of what rationality demands. So rationally, a consumer would want to buy a car which actually has better range as compared to the other one. But we don't always make decisions on the basis of rationality, do we? Marketing is all about appealing to the inner emotions of an individual. That is why we spend that's why we spend hundreds of dollars buying a Nike Jordan, right? Of course, it's an exceptional shoe, exceptionally well designed, but that's not why we're paying so much of money for it. We're paying money for it because we have an emotional connect with Michael Jordan. It makes us think that we can be an athlete as good as Michael Jordan. And that's a sort of positioning strategy that EVs also need to do. Of course, it is very important to quell all the fears that people might have, but at the same time, it's also pretty imperative to ensure there's an emotional connect that consumers are making, not just with the category as a whole, but with the brand itself, which helps differentiate it and distinguish it from its competitors. That is basically a summary of what I read in the article. But I would be very curious to know what kind of strategies you would like to implement, or you would like to see being implemented by brands in the EV category, given that this is the future now, the future is now. And this is amazing news. I'm very glad to know that governments around the world and countries around the world have realized that it is about damn time for change. And it's pretty essential to ensure that we're making improvements and we're making changes to our daily lifestyle to ensure that the planet becomes a more sustainable place for everyone. And that is pretty heartwarming, in all honesty. It's just the beginning. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure that the planet does not warm beyond irreparable damage. According to the Paris Climate Accords, it's we need to ensure that heating is limited to up to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Keeping that number in mind is essential, and producing, selling, and buying EVs definitely one way to help do your bit for the planet. Given that it's not going to be like electric vehicles are just going to overtake all sorts of vehicles on the road, and that petroleum and gas vehicles are completely going to cease to exist. That's not what is going to happen. And given that that is the case, EV brands, not only in terms of profitability, but also in terms of being the safeguards of our planet, need to ensure that they are rolling out marketing strategies and positioning strategies which actually prompts individuals to make the switch from petroleum cars to electric cars. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of hesitation when it comes to people selling off or disposing of their old cars and getting new cars. But the onus is on the EV brands to help facilitate that shift and to actually convince consumers that it would be in their best interest to make the change now rather than later. Thus it's very important to talk about the implications of a possible positioning strategy change in strategy. So what do you guys think about the future potential of electric vehicles and the possible marketing strategies that are going to be implemented to sell the same? I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts on electric vehicles as a whole is, and how you would personally like them being positioned as. And yeah, that's about it. That's it for today. I Once again, I thank you guys for sticking around right till the end, for those of you who have stuck around, and would strongly urge you to share this video if you like the content, and also make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's as always, it's great to be talking to you guys, and I shall see you soon. Until next time. For the new viewers, I hope that you guys also subscribe to my channel. Electric vehicles were revolutionary because